Hi, thank you for joining us today, Emily. We will be talking about feeding refluxy babies and about our new product, the Boppy Uplift. I'm Julia. I'm the Director of Product Development. And Emily, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Emily. I am a family nurse practitioner and an IBCLC or certified lactation consultant with Simply Fed. And we are a virtual breastfeeding, baby feeding platform.
Thank you. That's so amazing. And you have also been critical for us at Boppy as we are developing new products because I am in regular contact with you and your team to develop our products to make sure that they truly fit our new moms' needs as they're embarking on their breastfeeding journey. And I want to introduce our Boppy Uplift real quick. It has joined us here today. Um, this is a brand new item that our designer, when she was on maternity leave, has designed because her baby was refluxy and she just couldn't get comfortable with our normal C-shaped pillow. She kept on shoving other pillows underneath, trying to get a slope or an incline. In fact, we are in her work environment right now. You can see the sewing machine behind me. This is where the magic happens. This particular one happened at her home. I mean, I guess that's the benefit when you're a designer. You can just go right at it and resolve problems. So, what she was trying to accomplish is to have her baby fed at an incline and held afterwards at an incline. So, that's what we did with this uplift. Not only is it shaped that it fits truly any body, it is plus size friendly, but even if you are on the petite side, it fits truly any body. And beside the contoured design, it also has a higher end and a slimmer bottom. And with that, you create an incline of the product so you can hold baby easier at that incline. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that it is pretty long, supporting baby from head to toe so that nothing has any pressure or hangs off of the pillow, if you will. And then it's also very firmly filled because what I heard is that you want to have the baby very firmly supported, that the butt, for example, doesn't dent into the pillow so that there is not the startle reflex that then makes the baby lose the latch. Lastly, there is a belt. The belt is removable once you do not feel like you need it anymore. But what is nice, I remember my time in nursing when I didn't have to focus on the pillow, but just could focus on my daughter. I felt like all hands were just on her and didn't have to deal with the pillow anymore. And then one last thing is that there's also a handle, so it's easy to bring room to room. But enough about me and my story in the pillow right now. Emily, why don't we talk about how to best feed a refluxy baby? What would you recommend when somebody is contacting you? What tips would you give them?
So, first, I like to clarify that reflux in an infant is totally normal. It's just the perfect storm of having an all liquid diet, being laid down most of your existence, and having somewhat weak muscles that just allow the backflow
Mhm.
of that liquid diet. So, just right off the bat, if we're thinking about root causes of why do we have regurgitation of liquid food into the esophagus and in the mouth, is because it's backflowing from being laid down. So, the first thing and the easiest thing you can do is just hold your baby upright after eating rather than laying them down a bit immediately after a feed, or holding them in a cradle position. Just shift it so your baby is now upright on your shoulder, in front of you, on your arm. But we want to avoid the partial upright position. The totally upright position allows everything to settle into the stomach and start to digest, and milk gets thickened and it prevents the backflow, perfect for preventing reflux. But when we do the partially inclined or partially upright position, we fold baby in half and actually put pressure right at the area of the stomach. And
Mhm.
reflux worse. That means positions that put your baby in a seated position, like the infant bucket or car seat carrier, a swing or a seat. Anything that folds your baby in half can worsen reflux. We really want that completely elongated and elevated position so that we don't have the natural reflux or regurgitation into the esophagus. Another option is to just slow down the feeds. When milk is coming from a bottle or coming from a breast very rapidly, it's going to fill up that stomach faster and it's going to automatically want to reflux back up the esophagus. So, smaller volumes more frequently or just slowing down the pace of feed can also help mitigate some of that regurgitation symptom.
I'm so glad that you were just mentioning that even though it has to do with the muscles that aren't mature yet to hold the liquid down, we still need to make sure that we are not putting pressure on the stomach. And in fact, when I was working with Simply Fed, you were very, very happy that we firmed up the pillow so that there is no more, well, L shape, or like basically the baby is lying perfectly flat while still being at an angle.
Absolutely.
I wonder, are there already any questions coming in? Um, or if there are other tips that we could or should be talking about?
So,
Yeah.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Emily, what are the most common signs that a baby has reflux?
Usually, you know your baby has reflux because you see it. Either you see it actively happening, where there's just milk flowing out of the mouth, sometimes out of the nose, and even sometimes there's just so much milk, it'll come out of the tear ducts. The whole system is connected. It's part of the process. It's not a problem. It's very distressing as a parent to see it, but it is just normal flow. So, seeing it is one piece of evidence that your baby has reflux. You can also see it around the pillows or blankets or wherever it is that you have your baby lying down. It might be caked onto their face or caked up underneath of their little jowls.
Or behind the
Or
ears.
behind
That's where I
their ear.
found it.
You can get matted hair where you wake up and pick your baby up and there's like stinky smelling hair in the back of their head. That's another indication that there was probably some milk overflow or reflux. Now, this is all referring to normal, expected, happy spitter reflux. It's very different than true disease processes of gastroesophageal reflux disease. That's a different issue, and we see other red flag symptoms. Those should all be cleared with your pediatrician. We don't want to ignore those signs and symptoms because it is your baby's body's way of saying, hey, I need a little bit of help here.
Yeah, yeah.
The next question is colic the same thing as reflux?
It is not the same thing as reflux. Reflux is a physiologic process where milk in the stomach passively regurgitates into the esophagus and sometimes up out of the oral cavity. Vomiting is different. We're not talking about vomiting. That is a forceful use of abdominal muscles. And then colic is a totally separate set of symptoms that we use as a diagnosis of ruling out other stuff. But in general, a colicky baby is a fussy baby for no apparent reason. There is lots of research out there speculating about the possible causes and root issues around colic, everything from the microbiome to digestive issues to even migraine has been speculated as a possible cause of colic. So, colic is more of an umbrella term referring to excessive fussiness in an otherwise healthy newborn, whereas reflux is a very specific normal overflow of liquid into the mouth.
Yeah. So one of our viewers has been hearing about the sideline position for feeding. Can you use the uplift pillow for that?
That is a good question. So sideline would be when you feed in bed, correct? So if you were laying in bed, then you would probably want to have your baby directly next to you. I do not know if a pillow, and I'm looking at you, Sarah, probably should look at the camera. If therefore the pillow would work. Is there a way that you would see that work, Emily?
It seems to me that trying to use an elevated or slanted pillow while also in a sideline position creates more complications than are
Yep.
necessary. They seem
Yes.
now this is not to say that it's not possible, right? All bodies are different, all breasts are different, all babies are different. So if you can figure it out, super. But the reason sideline breastfeeding positions can be helpful in babies who have reflux is because of what we talked about before. It slows the rate of breast milk coming out of the body because we're not working against gravity. If we think about traditional breastfeeding positions, whatever they might be, cradle, cross cradle, football, and any combination of the like, baby is below the breast. And so gravity is pulling milk out while your body is simultaneously pushing milk out. And in these early newborns who are still trying to coordinate, suck, swallow, breathe, they can be a little bit overwhelmed with volume. And so you get fast feeds. Just flipping the whole system on its side in a sideline position can take that gravity element out of the equation to help slow the flow a little bit.
Yeah, I do want to quickly talk about the different nursing positions
Mhm.
and the way that we have sized our pillow. While we do want that the child is supported head to toe, we still wanted it to be compact enough that you can use it in a glider, in a rocker, on the sofa, wherever you might sit to feed your baby throughout the day. We wanted it to fit, but we also wanted to make sure that no matter what nursing hold is used, you can use it. And the most common ones are cradle, cross cradle, and football hold. So in a cradle position, you would hold the baby laying in the crook of your arm, right? I'm
Mhm.
looking at you, Emily, and I see you nod along, so that you then can use your other hand to guide the breast to the baby or help the baby's head being aligned. Cross cradle hold is when you hold the baby with the arm opposite of the breast you're feeding so that you can guide baby's head. I think this is the most common one used when a baby is premature or newly born so that you can help support their head better. But then even in football hold, it's great to use. And granted, I'm sitting on a stool, so this might not work perfectly. So bear with me. But you would just rotate the pillow around you. So that's the thing too. Like make the pillow work for you, not you contort yourself around the pillow. Slide the pillow around. You still have that angle, and that's the one of the benefits in football hold that naturally their butt and legs are already in an inclined position. You use the hand that is on the side of the breast you will feed from, and therefore you can guide their head as well. But the body of baby is still supported head to toe, preventing pressure on the tummy.
So here's a dual question for both of you.
Yeah.
Julia, can the uplift pillow be used for both breastfeeding and bottle feeding? And Emily, afterwards, what would you say are your go-to or maybe your first choice for a feeding position for a refluxy baby who is bottle fed and then a refluxy baby who's breastfeeding?
Yeah. I I will say yes. The pillow has been designed that it is high enough and perfect for breastfeeding. You can adjust depending on your torso length and your breast size where you ideally want to have the pillow. So again, rotate the pillow. It's perfect for that. But it's also perfect for bottle feeding because again, you want to have the baby in an inclined position. You want the body to be supported so that no pressure is on neck or tummy, and then you have your hand that is opposite the head to hold the bottle.
Absolutely. And I would say that the optimal position for feeding your baby with reflux is whatever position works for the two of you. And I realize that that's a very political answer, but it's because there is no such thing as a right and a wrong way to do things. Every family is different. And at the end of the day, you're the only expert on your body and your baby. So try all of the different positions and see what fits best. You might be incredibly right hand dominant. And so feeding in one position on your left breast is going to be a lot easier than feeding in that same position on your right breast because now you have to switch to your non dominant hand. Find the position that is comfortable for you first, right? We want to prioritize mama's comfort because you're the one that has to continue doing this. Prioritize breastfeeders or bottle feeders' comfort. After that, get into a position that allows baby to be slightly elevated so that we can slow the flow of milk, whether it comes from a breast or a bottle. That elevated position on baby's part is really going to help counteract the gravity. Other things that you can do from a breast, if you know that you have very rapid breast milk flow, say you have an active milk ejection reflex or you have abundant volume, it's automatically going to flow faster. So you can try to express a little milk first and then latch your baby. You can even try latching in a position and then leaning back slightly so that now baby is not below the breast, but rather more above the breast. And
Mm.
bring the pillow with you. The belt allows that pillow to move with you in those shifts of position. You can even just place the palm of your hand on a portion of your feeding breast. It's almost like we're compressing some of those milk storage bags so that they don't flow so quickly. Putting a little bit of pressure can also help slow the flow. But remembering the root causes of overfeeding or big feedings is fast flow and gravity. So we want to elevate baby, counteract gravity, and slow that flow from the breast, however you need to get there. And then conversely, from a bottle, everything still applies. We want to slow the flow, we want to keep baby elevated, and we want to give them opportunities to pause. When milk flows from a breast, it flows in squirts and then in stops. And then it squirts and then it stops. We want to replicate that with a bottle. So when you're feeding a baby from a bottle, keep them elevated. And it's very difficult to elevate a baby to that level with just your arm. So the elevation of the pillow can be very, very helpful in just supporting baby in a proper, extended, but elevated position. And then you can have your bottle at more of a horizontal hold so that you're not just tipping it up and letting milk flow out. It's horizontal so that it takes a little bit more effort on your baby's part to get milk out of that bottle. And then every couple of moments, let your baby suck on an empty nipple by shifting the whole system the other way. Again, your pillow is going to come with you, so when you shift back, everything will still be there. But this mimics the flow of milk from a breast while you're using a bottle.
Oh, that's so clever. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
this.
On the topic of comfort for mother, does this pillow help support moms recovering from C-sections and those recovering from birth and newly postpartum?
Yeah. So the way that, and I'm gonna place the bait just here, cannot roll off, don't worry. Um, we have made sure that this is a three-dimensional design so that you have two seams coming along here, which creates really nice flat surface that will be against your body so that nothing is putting pressure on just one particular part on your tummy, but that it is flat. It's a soft material that will feel good against your skin. It's not causing any rubbing points or irritation, so that you, as you're healing and recovering from a C-section birth, are well supported.
Emily, what's the one piece of advice you'd like to wrap us up with for those moms and parents going through babies with reflux right now? And what would you say to them to help them through this journey?
Breastfeeding, baby feeding, birth, parenthood, it's crazy hard. When everything is going perfectly according to the textbook, it's really hard. Add in any kind of hiccup or speed bump, and it just makes it that much harder. As baby feeders, we tend to prioritize a happy and healthy baby above all else. And while absolutely, I agree, a happy and healthy baby is very important, the single most important thing for a happy and healthy baby is a happy and healthy mama. So use your resources, use your community, find the tips and tricks that work for your body, try them on, and if it doesn't fit for you, chuck it. You wouldn't keep wearing a shoe that doesn't fit just because it's the right size. If it doesn't fit, try a new one. This pillow gives you plenty of opportunity to shift it and move it. You can use regular pillows, you can use breastfeeding pillows, you can use no pillows, but there's no right or wrong way to feed your baby. You have to prioritize your comfort. And in the midst of all of that, we have to add in all of the details to get milk into your baby. If that means position changes, if that means burping, if that means different holds, try it all. There's no right or wrong way to do any of it.
Thank you for sharing this. This actually gave me a little bit of goosebumps knowing how we tend to forget to take care of ourselves. So I really appreciate you saying this. And one of the reasons why we developed this product is to make moms feel supported. To us at Boppy, this is a mom product. And we're just so excited for this to be now available. It just hit the shelves actually in Target. So if you are curious to see it, to get it, to have it home tonight, please do check it out in your local Target store.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Emily, for all your great advice.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay.